This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. You know how Republicans always say, Russia, 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 and there's nothing to see here. This is a nothing burger. This is just a conspiracy theory on the left. They're just trying to gin up controversy. Nothing's going on with Russia. Well, we haven't pieced all the pieces together. We haven't connected the dots all the way, but there certainly was something going on with Russia. Why Donald Trump was so cozy with Vladimir Putin, maybe we'll never know. I hope that's not the case. I hope we do get to the bottom of it. Whether it be the moment in Helsinki where he stood shoulder to shoulder with Putin and said, listen, I know that the entirety of the American intelligence gathering infrastructure says that Russia did interfere in the election, but I got Putin sitting here and he says he didn't do it, so I'm going to believe him, effectively committing treason against the United States. We know that Dopey Don Jr. took a meeting with, what was her name? Natalia Veselnitskaya, to get dirt on Hillary Clinton. We know they were meeting with Russians. We know that I'm not going to go on and on and on, but we know Donald Trump said that the U.S. media should, or if the Russians should find all the 30,000 emails or whatever, and they would be mightily rewarded by the press or some nonsense. We know. And then hours later, there was a hack attempt on the DNC. And now we're learning that someone that Donald Trump pardoned is indicted yet again, this time for funneling Russian money into American politics. Reading from this article, longtime GOP operatives charged with funneling Russian nationals' money into Trump and RNC. Jesse Benton and Doug Wead pleaded not guilty to 6 felony charges, including facilitating a campaign contribution by a foreign national. So it's not just a conspiracy theory. There are now indictments. 2 veteran Republican campaign operatives, including one who got a pardon from then-President Donald Trump 1 month before he left office, are charged in a new federal indictment with funneling $25,000 from a Russian national into the Trump campaign in 2016. Now, the money that was secured wasn't just $25,000. I'll get to that. I think it's in part of the things that I highlighted here to read. They asked for $100,000 or $125,000, and then they kept most of the money for themselves and only donated the $25,000. So it's not only self-dealing, it's also criminal activity that's being alleged here relative to foreign money influencing domestic politics, which is dangerous, especially with a hostile foreign power like Russia. Jesse Benton, 43, and Doug Wead, 75, made brief appearances Monday at a video hearing in U.S. District Court in Washington, pleading not guilty to 6 felony charges, including facilitating a campaign contribution by a foreign national, acting as a straw donor, and causing the filing of false campaign finance reports. The grand jury indictment alleges that Benton and Wead worked together to accept $100,000 from an unidentified Russian national in order to get a foreigner a meeting with then-candidate Trump at a fundraiser in Philadelphia on September 22nd, 2016. Russia, Russia, Russia! There were no meetings. We weren't meeting with Russians. They weren't giving us money. We know the outsized influence that money has in American politics. Donald Trump talked about it himself during the campaign. I got all kinds of stuff done because I paid, because I made donations to people. That is why money is such an insidious influence in American politics. And if Russians are giving money to Donald Trump's campaign, it begs the question, why? Is it because they're just super charitable? Do they just really want to make sure he wins because he's a swell fella? No. They are trying to get him in office because it will benefit them. Neither Trump nor his campaign are mentioned by name in the indictment, but details in the 19-page document make clear that the scheme involved taking the donation in connection with the Trump event and an opportunity to get face-to-face with him. For example, The indictment's reference to a $25,000 donation on October 27, 2016 to a political committee by Benton, allegedly to cover up the foreign source of the money, lines up with a donation of the same size and date to Trump's political committee attributed to a Jesse Bentor, which prosecutors said is a garbling of Benton's name. The indictment suggests that Benton and Wead hoped to make money from the scheme and did, taking $100,000 from the Russian, but paying only $25,000 to Trump Victory, a joint venture between the Trump campaign and the Republican National Committee. Benton, a veteran of Kentucky, and here's where it gets thick and rich. If you ever wondered why Rand Paul flipped from being an ardent Trump opponent to someone who is an obsequious, sycophantic bootlicker, this could be the reason. Benton, a veteran of Kentucky and presidential politics, had previously faced federal campaign finance charges for payments to a key Iowa state lawmaker who switched endorsements from Michelle Bachmann to Ron Paul in the 2012 presidential GOP primary. Trump, just before leaving office, pardoned Benton for the crimes he was convicted of. Benton is also an in-law and former advisor to Senator Rand Paul, who is Ron Paul's son. Benton previously led Senator Mitch McConnell's 2014 re-election campaign before stepping down amid legal scrutiny. The guy's just a problem. In pardoning Benton and another associate, Trump indicated in the pardoning documents, that's where this is coming from, what they're saying here. In pardoning Benton and another associate, Trump indicated that the move had the support of Rand Paul and former FEC chair Lee Goodman, because they wrote a letter in support of this. The new indictment alleges that Benton was carrying out a foreign donation scheme in the days just before and after he was sentenced to 2 years probation on the Iowa-related campaign finance case. And then here is just the cherry on top of this shit sundae. The case against Benton and Wead has been assigned to Judge Trevor McFadden, a Trump appointee. So we will see how this goes. We will certainly follow this case. But this should lead you to some question, more scrutiny on the relationship between the Republican Party and Russia's money, and Russia's influence on American politics. They ignored the interference in our democracy because they no longer cherish democratic rule. They no longer cherish self-rule and self-governance. They're concerned with power, no matter how they get it and no matter how it is granted to them by hostile foreign powers and their money. Disgusting, scary. I rail against and rail on about the precipice upon which we stand, that our democracy, our form of government, our way of life is now being threatened on a day-to-day basis by the Republican Party. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think. You can leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. Thanks for engaging with my content. Thanks for connecting with me on social media, Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, everywhere. I'm even doing YouTube Shorts now, if you're into the flipping through YouTube Shorts. If I bring you value, and I would ask that you consider supporting my work here on the channel for as little as $2 a month. You can become a channel member. Click the join button down there, or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. That's a great way to help produce what I do here. I love you guys. I will see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.